What's up, NFL draft fans? I've compiled the three biggest and most recent 2026 NFL mock drafts, and I've stacked them side by side so we can compare trends, consensus picks, and see how this draft class is shaping up so far. I'm going to move quickly through these picks, focus on the why, and point out where the mocks agree and where they completely disagree. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Starting with pick number one, the Las Vegas Raiders at the top of the draft, I believe that Fernando Mendoza is a lock. This is one of the rare years where the consensus number one overall pick is clear, and all three mock drafts align and agree. Mendoza to the Raiders feels like a done deal already. Whether or not Geno Smith sticks around as a short term bridge, the Raiders are getting their franchise quarterback here. The Indiana QB and the Heisman Trophy winner checks every box: arm talent, production, poise. This is as close to a no brainer as it gets. And honestly, pick number two with the New York Jets, that's where this draft really starts. They are in a tough spot. There isn't another true franchise quarterback worth taking this high. So this becomes a best player available conversation. And this is where I want to mention Caleb Downs. He's one of the best players in the class to me, but safeties almost never go this high. So instead, the Jets are most likely circling three names here. Arvell Reese from Ohio State is the most commonly mocked player here, a hybrid linebacker slash pass rusher who can impact the defense in multiple ways. The other two guys are David Bailey and Reuben Bain Jr. Both Bailey and Bain will be at the Senior Bowl, and finding a game changing edge rusher makes a ton of sense. I'll say this: I do not think offensive tackles in play for the Jets. After drafting Olu Fashanu and Armand Mimbu in back to back drafts, I believe the Jets already have their bookend tackles that they want to develop. On to pick number three. The Arizona Cardinals are another fascinating team here. What are they going to do with Kyler Murray, and how committed are they long term? Again, Caleb Downs is a player I'd consider here, but history tells us safeties don't go this high. The most likely pick here is Francis Mauigoa, the Miami tackle. He played right tackle for the Hurricanes, but make no mistake, this guy is a dominant force who would instantly upgrade Arizona's offensive line and help stabilize this offense. At pick number four, we have the Tennessee Titans, a team that is building around last year's number one pick, Cam Ward. Most mocks have them taking a pass rusher. Reuben Bain Jr. or David Bailey both make sense, but I wouldn't rule out a top wide receiver here either. They need more weapons for their young quarterback, and at pick four, they'd have their choice of any receiver in the class. This is a sneaky swing pick here. Keep an eye on the Tennessee Titans. At pick number five, we have the New York Giants. New head coach John Harbaugh is in the building, and the Giants are committed to developing Jackson Dart. After Malik Neighbors tore his ACL last season, the Giants' offense badly lacked playmakers. That showed up every week. Naturally, this becomes a wide receiver pick for me. Most mocks have Carnell Tate here, and he'd be a great fit alongside Neighbors, but I wouldn't rule out Makai Lemon or Jordan Tyson either. They're most likely going to take a wide receiver. The question is which one. Then we get to pick number six, the Cleveland Browns, who are all over the place. PFF and CBS have them taking Jordan Tyson, adding a much needed offensive playmaker, whereas Mel Kiper has them going another direction with Spencer Fano, focusing on the trenches here. And honestly, the Browns could go any direction. This roster has holes all over the place, and until they settle their quarterback situation, it's hard to project a clear path. Moving on to the Washington Commanders, who desperately need help on that defensive line. Just a few years ago, they had four Pro Bowl caliber linemen: Montez Sweat, Chase Young, Jonathan Allen, and Deron Payne. Now, Deron Payne is the last man standing. If Reuben Bain Jr. or David Bailey are still on the board, I believe they'd be perfect fits here. PFF has them taking Cassius Howe, and while I like Cassius, I feel like this is a little bit too early for him. Then at pick number eight, we have the New Orleans Saints. They may have found their quarterback in Tyler Shaw and now have to focus on adding weapons around him. All three of the mocks go on offense, just different directions here. PFF has them taking Makai Lemon, ESPN has Jordan Tyson, and CBS has him going with Notre Dame running back Jeremiah Love. Whether it's wide receiver or running back, the theme is clear here. Add some playmakers to this offense around your young quarterback. Then we get to the Kansas City Chiefs, and this one's wild. After playing in 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls, the Chiefs are now picking in the top 10 for the first time since 2013. A lot of mocks have them taking running back Jeremiah Love, and that actually makes sense. Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco are both free agents, and adding Love would take pressure off Patrick Mahomes and balance this offense out. Is that the direction they go? We'll find out in April. At pick number 10, I have the Cincinnati Bengals, and this might be my favorite pick in the top 10. Mel Kiper nailed this one. He has Caleb Downs falling to the Bengals, and I love the fit. They've had a massive hole at safety ever since Jesse Bates left, and Downs is a top 3 player in this draft, if you ask me. So you might ask yourself why he'd still be on the board. Listen, safeties almost always fall in the draft. From Kyle Hamilton to Brian Branch, it happens almost every year. The last safety taken in the top 10 was Jamal Adams back in 2017. The last safety to go in the top 5, it's been 15 years since Eric Berry went in the top 5. So if Downs is there at pick number 10, the Bengals should sprint this card in. If he does go before they pick, other defensive upgrades could be available, like Peter Woods, Jermod McCoy, or even David Bailey would make a lot of sense. Once we get outside the top 10, things get a little bit murkier here, but a few picks do stand out. Both the Jets and the Cowboys are loaded with 2 first-round picks, and the Cowboys in particular are looking for immediate impact players. I think Sonny Styles makes a lot of sense for Dallas. CBS has the Steelers taking a quarterback at pick number 21, Ty Simpson. I'm not sold on him as a first rounder, but Pittsburgh is in a rough spot here. With Mike Tomlin retiring and not having a franchise quarterback, it's hard to tell what they do in the draft. PFF and CBS both agree on the Chargers taking an offensive lineman, and 2 of the 3 mocks have the Eagles taking tight end Kenyon Sadiq. Another thing that really stood out to me here is both mock drafts have the Bears and Broncos taking a defensive tackle. They just can't agree on which one. And that's what I want to talk about with my final thought here. What really stood out to me is the end of the first round is loaded with defensive line talent. Guys like Caden McDonald, Kristen Miller, Caleb Banks, Cassius Howell, Akeem Mesidor, and more. I've been on the record saying this is a strong year for the defensive line, and I'll be watching a lot of these guys closely at the Senior Bowl next week. Some big time names will be there, and my big board is going to be changing a lot. So that's my breakdown of the top 10 and some of the most interesting storylines to watch with the mock drafts. But remember, this is the calm before the storm. Once we get to the Senior Bowl, things are going to change fast. Then we have the NFL Combine and Pro Days after that. Some players are going to rise, others are going to fall, and teams will start tipping their hands. Not think it's as strong as the 2027 class, but it is particularly strong on the defensive line. And there's some sneaky good day 2 talent as well. If you enjoyed this comparison and want more draft focused breakdowns without the fluff, make sure you're subscribed and like this video. I'll be tracking these prospects all the way to draft night and throughout their NFL careers, and I have my own mock draft on the way. I appreciate you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more year round draft coverage.